So the book starts out with the basic philosophy, and I wanted to lay out the basic philosophy in a simple and understandable method. I'm certainly not trying to rewrite any of Rothbard's great treatises, right? I'm not trying to rewrite the For a New Liberty or the Ethics of Liberty. I'm just trying to condense everything that I've been exposed to. And so I've got it in 6 chapters. It's only 40 pages. And I think that covers the entire fundamental philosophy. So we start out with a definition of individual liberty, which that was an interesting exercise. I attend quite a few events that attract liberty-minded people. And for a couple years in a row at Freedom Fest, I would walk around in the exhibit hall and in between seminars and talk to folks in the liberty movement, people that I have a lot of respect for, people that have accomplished quite a bit. And I asked everybody the same question: what's your definition of individual liberty? And there was an overarching theme that was among everybody, but for the most part, everybody had a different definition. That I found disturbing. I thought, this is something that we all should agree on, and it should be concise. So my research across all of the different philosophers and authors that we have in our liberty movement brought me to the definition that I'm going to present. And my definition of individual liberty is the absence of coercion. It's extremely short. I like it because it's got the negative connotation, which we'll talk about in a minute, but it reflects the negative rights that is a fundamental part of our natural rights philosophy. So we define individual liberty, and then we move on to, interestingly enough, having to define coercion. That came straight from Rothbard. There's a few others. Hayek had something interesting, but Rothbard's got this really concise, really precise definition of coercion. And then we moved on to discuss natural law and how natural law predates all government. And Bastiat says it best: man does not have life, liberty, and property because government has made laws. Rather, there are laws because man already had life, liberty, and property. So our natural laws are inherent and above any man-made law. The natural laws also include natural rights. There's some discussion of natural rights. The concept
All right, so
of
why don't I have a right to a car?
You have a right to life, liberty, and property. That, I think we can just start with 3 really simple ones. And the right to life, the right to liberty, the right to property does not require anybody else to do anything. There's no services needed to be provided by someone else. There's no goods needed to be provided by someone else. You are to be left alone. No one is to kill you. That's your right to life. No one is to steal your property. And that's your right to property. No one is to enslave you. That's your right to liberty. It doesn't require anybody else's, it doesn't require imposing anything on anyone else. So no, sorry, you do not have a right to a car.
Because if I were to claim one, that would, in order to fulfill that, somebody would have to do something. They'd have to go build me something. They'd have to
Exactly.
They'd have to do, it'd have to be forced labor for me. And we already said that's no can do. That's not allowed.
Can't do that. And an interesting thing, and this is something that the last chapter in the philosophy section is specifically about negative rights and positive rights. And what you're suggesting is that you have a positive right to a car, which means someone has to do something to provide you with that car. But the natural rights that we have inherently are all negative rights. No one's required to do anything for those. And what that means is that those natural rights are universal, that everybody has that right and it's simultaneous. Everyone can exercise that right at the same time. That's a concept that when people that have read the book and we've had conversations with, that seems to be new to just about everybody. That they hadn't heard that before, or they may have heard it and just didn't realize how fundamental it is. So if someone is making and this is why this is important, when you're listening to someone else and they're making a claim, and people usually dress up, people that are eloquent, dress up their claims in all sorts of flowery language and make it sound so important. But if you can really dissect it and try to find out exactly what it is they're making a claim on, almost everybody's making a claim for a positive right. And once you realize it's a positive right, then you can just work through all of the other knowledge you have, and you can explain why that's a violation of natural law and natural rights.